Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on? Your boy AB, man. Welcome to another installment of Open Gym Podcast, episode 3 of the new season, everybody. We here. We here, man. And I'm glad to be here, man. Let's get all the pleasantries out of the way. I'm your boy AB. This is Open Gym, and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, comment, share, hit the notification button, everything, man, to stay up to date with everything we got going on in Open Gym and around these sports league, man. And today I got some very special guests with me today for this special edition of Open Gym, NBA training camp edition. Training camp has just ended, essentially. The week-long training camp just ended all around the league. But before we get into it fully, obviously, I'm going to introduce, starting from my far left, this is my man Skip, the producer. He's here, that's going to be joining us today. The man you need to talk to about music, betting, sports betting, all those things that you need. That's the man to go to right there. And all you know, he's been on here before. The great Sean Bernard, man of fully, man, everywhere. He works everywhere. He writes for everybody. He reports for everybody. I think I seen him on TV the other day. I don't even know, but it's just great to always have y'all here, have you here again, once again, joining me on this episode, man. So let's just hop right into it, man. I'm glad to have y'all here. I know this is the NBA training camp season edition of the show, but before we get there, obviously we just had a long jam-packed weekend of all sports, well, specifically football and the NFL, man. So I just want to hit the NFL real quick. The first thing I'm gonna ask you guys, man, what stood out to you? What sat there and grabbed your attention this weekend, essentially, man? Anybody can start. Go ahead.
What aspect are we talking about?
Football, baby, football. Yep. NFL.
What stood out to me was it had to be. It's actually alarming.
Okay.
To me, with the Eagles right now.
Oh, he went straight. He went straight to my birds. He ain't even warm me up.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Now, like you said, I do the sports betting and everything like that. So the Eagles did cash for me. So I appreciate that. But I personally feel like the Eagles are a better team than they're actually displaying.
Okay. For sure. Okay.
The Eagles, I understand there's new coaching and everything. Not head coaching, but there's new coaches in place in certain, aspects of Jalen Hurts. He's changing, offensive coaches rapidly. He's still having success, but not the success that we're accustomed to seeing. And I just don't feel like the Rams should have been able to compete with them the way they did. Yeah. Now, did they come through? Did they end up winning in a dominant fashion? Yes, but it didn't seem like it. The score didn't entail how close that game really was. So that's alarming to me, and that stood out to me.
I mean, I would say I'm gonna go with like Nick said. It's a long season for them to be going through what they get. Yeah, right, and be 5-0 going into this situation. I agree, but don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying I totally disagree, because there is some areas that need to be addressed heavily, obviously. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, to me, I agree with your point, but I'm taking that as a positive. That we're sitting here at 5-0 having these complaints about this team. And when you look at a team like last night's game, which I think is a huge takeaway league-wide across the NFL, the 49ers are on a different level than the Dallas Cowboys. I think the 49ers are clicking on all cylinders. That they look like they're playing their best football. I don't think we've seen that from the Eagles yet. Exactly. We have not seen them click and find that form. When we get to that level, I'm feeling really good about this team as far as Super Bowl chances, winning the National League, all these things. So let's just get there. Let's see there. Let's keep taking our blows right now. But I feel good about the team. And I felt like yesterday we saw a little bit more of the Jalen Hurts that I wanted to see, which I was excited by.
I would say that because this was probably his best all-around performance when it came to Jalen Hurts this season. Just thus far, everything came with running, throwing. And it was crazy. I was even having a little argument with a friend of mine yesterday. I don't understand the displeasure in Jalen Hurts, especially this far into his career so far. But the pass he threw to A.J. Brown, the one-handed thing, he talked about that was a terrible pass. He should have put it right on. I'm sitting there like, What? Like, do you understand who was in front? If he threw it on him, that was an interception. He led him. He made a great catch, with the one hand, but he literally threw it. Yes, exactly. We paid that man $100 million. Like, you need to catch that. And then in the NFL terms, that is a great pass in a small window, and the wide receiver made a great play on that essentially like that. I mean, anything else that stood out to you? I mean, I'll give you one. You spoke about it earlier, right before we started the show, obviously. The shellacking the 49ers put on the Cowboys. I mean, I know I had a couple episodes that went by and that the Cowboys is in each time. I know. But y'all do it to me because y'all talk so much online, on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. Everything Cowboys fans going about playing Daniel Jones, about playing Aaron Rodgers-less New York Jets, losing to the Arizona Cardinals, and then now losing to the 49ers. Like, come on, man. Like, we know who the Dallas Cowboys, and don't give me Trevon Diggs being gone. Don't get me wrong, big blow. Absolutely. Your best cornerback that's out there. Stephen Gilmore doesn't look like the same guy that he used to be, essentially, like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, you still got Michael Parsons. You still got the rest of that defense. You still got Dak. When Shady say Dak is ass, like, you know, like
3 picks last night.
3. Like, come on, like, you gotta be better than that. Got your own fans in the stadium chanting for not your fans, San Francisco fans chanting for Trey Lance to come into the game over there. But I mean, what do y'all think about that game specifically?
Yeah, to me, it just looked like the 49ers were on another level than the Dallas Cowboys. I think that was something that we knew was on the table going into this game, as much as there was all the rah-rah for the Cowboys, as is always the case. That was a prove-it game, and they did not show up. That was from start to finish a dominant performance from the 49ers. They're just on another level when it comes to the NFL terms, and shout out to the 49ers. They are the real deal. I'm a little bit worried about them. But, Cowboys, not so much.
I mean, Purdy might have a little bit of PTSD, you know, that defensive line coming there. Okay?
Yeah, that's a part that I wanted to point to because, like, to piggyback on what he said, the 49ers are definitely on a whole nother level.
Absolutely, right now.
And that's part of the reason why it's alarming for the way the Eagles are playing. Mm-hmm. Like, I know the Eagles, I know it's a long season. I know that, like, you kind of got to, you know, get your legs under you and ascend. But if the 49ers are already there and they're ascending at the same rate as the Eagles.
I mean, can they get any better?
And can they maintain?
And that's another thing. We know teams can peak early. That's a big thing. I know the Phillies in the playoffs now. I mean, it's still a series. You know, I know he's jumping around a bit, but they're going
Phillies
against
look like a way better team right now.
Right, but early on in the season when we went 0-5 or something like that to start the season, we were sitting there talking about, but we had someone say they need to trade Trey Turner. You just signed this man to a $300 million contract coming into the season. They already talk about trading. So I do think there is some precedence in peaking too early. Now, is that going to be the sake of the 49ers? I don't believe so for the most part because they did the same thing last year. And then when we seen them in the playoffs, they still was playing like that. It's just we knocked out their quarterback essentially like that. So I do believe that. But, I mean, we'll see as the season goes along. Any other thing around the NFL, I feel like looking at, obviously, the Miami, they still going at it. They still going strong. A lot of speed. Now they got the young guy, was it HA or whatever, like the running back and everything like that. It's a lot of speed on that team. They are dangerous. They can't defend the soul, but you're going to have to be able to put up points essentially like that. So they stuck out to me. I mean, those are the big things for me. Obviously, had some injuries. Travis Kelce, see how that's going to look later on. But, I mean, anything else that stuck out to you during the week in the NFL?
Yeah, Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson.
Another injuries. Yeah, that hurt. Especially Anthony Richardson for me. I like him, one, and then he actually's shown that he's a competent quarterback, you know, with a real coach essentially like that. Since Shane Steichen has been there, I would rather Anthony Richardson out there than Gardner Minshew. I tell you that much for sure. But that definitely was what about I know they lost. What's your thoughts on the Texans this year?
C.J. Stroud, he's a real deal.
C.J. Stroud is definitely the best rookie
quarterback, hands down. The coming out of this class, not even the poise this guy shows, the command of the huddle, command of the offense. making Nick Collins come to fruition, bringing out what's the name, Dwell, him. I'm not sure what's going on with Pierce, but I think they throw more than anything down there in Houston. But still, he got some nice weapons around there, and to show the poise and the command of the huddle and the team that he has this early in the season, on contrary to a guy like Bryce Young in Carolina who's a bit struggling and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Now, they did play against the Atlanta Falcons.
True, but then they also had a couple games before that.
Played a game.
Finally,
he played a game.
You know how many bets I lost because Desmond Ritter can't get the ball to some players.
He played a game and he got weapons too. I mean, Kyle Pitts been kind of underperforming his draft position, but
Bijan there, another one.
Bijan is crazy. Drake London is crazy. Like he got. It was
always the quarterback. Absolutely, it was always the quarterback in Atlanta that they was missing, man. But yeah, that's around the NFL, man. We just gonna keep moving on, man. I appreciate y'all topics on that. But we are here for one reason and one reason only. And I know the city of Philadelphia is not gonna necessarily like this in the moment, but it's football. I mean, it's basketball time. Training camp has just ended. This is the Open Gym Podcast, NBA tip-off season episode, whatever the hell you want to call it, essentially. But we are here. Y'all see I got my shirt on. I'm fully out. I'm ready for them as well. But, man, basketball season, training camp is here and gone. First piece of game actually was just the other night. We played the Boston Celtics. No, Sixers specifically. No Embiid, no James Harden. I think Giannis didn't play this weekend. It's a lot of big stars that didn't really play this weekend. But just going into this season, I want to start here with you guys. A player that you just looking forward to, either just having a good year or maybe an outbreak season. Maybe they in year 3 or something like that, or maybe a rookie or something like that. What player this season are you looking at that you feel like I have one of those type of years where it's like they just put themselves on the map essentially like that?
So this might not be a surprise to a lot of people, but my breakout performer will be Tyrese Maxey.
Okay.
Hands down.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I'm assuming that Harden is going to want to take on more of a scoring role, but I just see a lot of growth in Max. I know it was only one game, it was preseason, but his growth in his game, his decision making, he's actually gotten bigger. I don't know if people really noticed that or not, but he put on a lot of muscle, which was it's a knock on him that he was a little on the smaller side. He was a little on the smaller side. So now, I mean, he's added to his repertoire, his scoring repertoire. He's still blazing fast as he was. So like I seen plays where Tatum couldn't stay in front of him. I seen plays where he was actually shielding Tatum off with his strength, which Tatum is a strong guy as well. So I think Maxey is going to definitely break out and give the Sixers a little breathing room as far as if they decide to move Harden. But yeah, my player to look for is Maxey. I do like Jaden Springer.
Okay.
Jaden Springer
that's his guy right there.
Yeah, because Jaden Springer, he's a bowling ball, man. He's strong.
We call him
strong.
A running back. We call that man a little running back.
He's tough. He's not really tall, but neither is Maxey. So I think Jaden Springer with gaining experience, actually getting a little bit of playing time. I don't expect him to start or anything like that. I don't even expect him to be the sixth man, but getting consistent playing time, learning under guys, he's gonna be good.
Yeah, I do think Maxey's a great call here. That I think this is the year that Maxey figures out how good he is. That he has that moment where it clicks. Where I actually am that dude. That there's not as much deferring to James Harden and Joel Embiid. I get it. These guys are MVPs. These guys are these high-quality all-stars. I understand it from his perspective. But just having him stand in the corner as a spot-up shooter is a waste of how
Absolutely. I agree with that. Absolutely.
That it is time to throw more on his plate, see what this guy really can do. I expect that this year. I think he's going to be a 25-plus point per game scorer. I think this is going to be a breakout year.
Who is that? Drew Hanley? It doesn't work out right. Drew Hanley, he said it. So listen, all right, 25. Go get that 25 a night. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Maxey's a great shout there. As far as a guy that I expect to take a leap forward, I'm going to go right back to my guy, Paul Reed here.
I mean, that's his other guy right there, B-Ball Paul. Yeah, you right. Go ahead.
The man's been paid now. We got a new system. I think Nick Nurse is going to bring out the most in him. That Nick Nurse is a guy who's gotten more out of these versatile, athletic, kind of positionless styles of players like Paul Reed. I think he's improved in his development. There's been a lot of work between Nick Nurse and Paul Reed on his shooting this year, trying to make him a little bit of a pick and pop threat. We know what he can do as a defensive guy. And I think as things shake out, who knows if PJ Tucker ends up in the trade with James Harden or if he's a guy that wants to come off the bench. I think there's very much a world where Paul Reed is a starting four for this team. I think that's on the table, and I think he's ready to deliver. So I think the training wheel should come off him, and I expect some progression from Paul Reed this year.
So, all right, so we on the Sixers, so we're going to save a little bit of that, since we do have the resident Philly reporter, Sixers reporter in here with us. I'm gonna take it a little bit of a different route. So, breakout, I would say breakout season. I'm more so looking at, one, the Cavs, right? I know, you added Donovan Mitchell there. They got the big guys out there.
Niang.
Don't mention him. Not with him next to you. You talk about someone he hate. He hated that fat guy running around out there every day. Why is he on the floor? Why is he
broke
on
down
the floor? But that's definitely a team, because I'm going to take the team approach that I am looking to see if they can take that next step, essentially, like that. Another year, a full off season with Donovan Mitchell there, a bigger workload for Evan Mobley, another year with him out there. And then, obviously, one of my favorite guards in the league, obviously, is Darius Garland. It's always just been the style of play, everything like that. Definitely something I've always looked forward to as far as them. That's the East. But then also, in the West specifically, I know nobody talk about him too much, but it was a little bit of a news about him. And, he went through his little situation in the offseason with Zion. Can Zion stay healthy? Because I do believe if Zion can, he said no. If he can, I do believe the Pelicans can be a formidable team within the West, essentially like that. I really do believe they can. It's just, literally, that team is predicated on
him being a star.
Period. Yeah. Point blank, period. I know you got Brandon Ingram. I know you got CJ out there and those complementary pieces out there with him, but it's like, if he's not right, it's nothing much that you can go through. Good.
8 seed.
You on 8?
8 seed.
AC. So all right, rank them then. Just off right now, obviously paper. West 1 through 8.
So Nuggets 1.
So you going Nuggets again 1? All right.
To be. Unfortunately, I just don't.
But it's nothing wrong with that. They the reigning champions, so I'll put them there too as well. Absolutely.
I think Warriors are going to be back in business this year. I think this is going to be a last
with
round.
CP3.
I do.
Them small ball. Okay, go ahead.
Steph still got it. Steph is not slowing down. It's
Steph,
my biggest reason for that here is he's still moving.
And I only say that because of the other factors that they have going on with their team more than anything.
Sure. Grizzlies, I'm still keeping in the mix there. I'll probably throw them 3.
Ja back. Okay.
Still like the Kings. I think 4's still a little high. I think a little bit of regression there. But
what did they end last year?
3. They were 3.
I got them still in the same area.
And they got the Warriors as the 6th seed was where things fell apart.
You're right. Okay. I see it, Elijah. Go ahead.
Beyond that, the Clippers is a huge question mark.
Man, you talk about somebody I don't care about. That's one team I do not care about. I'm sorry. I know who's out there. I absolutely know who's out in LA. Just stop it. To me, they're not. It's more so the fans when it comes to the Cowboys, but the Clippers are like the Cowboys to me. Like all the hype, all the praise, Kawhi, PG, Russell Westbrook now, Ty Lue, all this stuff. But literally they do the same thing. You talking about Zion, they do literally the same thing every year. Every year. Soon as Kawhi get a hangnail, he like, I'm good. I'm gonna sit there. And granted, I don't. If you injure, you injure. But let's just be real when it comes to this situation. You know what I'm saying? Every year, come on, y'all.
Yeah, I think I probably would put the Clippers maybe 6.
I'll go Lakers 4. I'll give Lakers.
Okay. Hey, I was about to say, where you putting the Lakers there? And
Lakers,
I'm a LeBron guy, but still, like what? I mean, all the additions that they had. Rob Pelinka had a solid year this offseason. You cannot deny that. He had a solid year bringing in guys like Gabe Vincent. Obviously, that's a great addition to their guard rotation. A guard that actually can shoot instead of having someone like Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook out there that can't do anything. So to add that, they add length, more length to their team and everything like that. Can't even think of the guy's name right now. The guy last year, Vanderbilt out there now. Re-sign him side to side with Anthony Davis and stuff like. It's like I like the Lakers. So I have them within the 4 and 5 range as well. Clippers, they damn near for me. 8 seed or play in for me. And that's just being honest. Because talent. Look, this is how I project this season going to end. Like they're gonna have some wins because of their talent. They're going to be healthy enough early enough to win a lot of games. So I can see them during the middle of the season being a 6, 7 seed, 5th seed. But at the end of the day, they're going to be who they're going to be. I can see them dropping or losing in the first round, like a wild card round or something like that.
The weird part about it is, as much as there's the James Harden noise, is I do think James Harden makes a lot of sense.
Oh, heck yeah.
That he could absolutely be that regular season stabilizer, raise the floor of that team, make them a playoff team, and then hand over the reins to Kawhi and Paul George to take you home. But they do need a guy that's going to be on the floor every night. Like, as much as we want to shade Harden for it, he does show up and play every night. He plays games. He plays basketball, and he plays well for the most part. That you allow him to be kind of your driver through the regular season and then bring in the full squad when they're healthy for playoffs. I do see that working from the Clippers' perspective. Like, I think it makes sense for them to go after him, whether they'll pay the Daryl Morey price.
Right. That's the other. I mean, let's dive into it then. That's a perfect segue then. We're going to get into the James Harden situation, the different offseason trades and moves that was made as well. And then we're going to end it with the Sixers. So with James Harden, 1, do you believe he'll be traded? 2, who? And then if not, directly who is like a dark horse that you believe in maybe swoop in and grab him. And if anything, I'll start. Do I think he'll be traded? Yes. Right? But I'm gonna qualify it with this.
Okay.
Only with this. When you get around your guys, now I ain't talking about upper management, nobody up there. When you get around your guys long enough, you vibing, you having a good time. You know what I mean? And God forbid you actually start the season and actually play some games with them. Just a little bit, just a slither of hope for the organization, for their reason. It's not necessarily fans, because I know fans in general are just like, forget them. But just a little glimmer of like, all right, maybe he will rock out for this last year and keep going. So with James Harden, do I think he'll be traded? Yes. Who I do ultimately think he'll be in LA, because that's the team that really wants him. And obviously, he's talked to Paul George and he talked to Kawhi and everything like that. How we get there still remains to be seen, for sure. Because what's the price that you pay for him? Or what are the price you think the team is willing to pay for him to get him there, essentially like that?
Well, if it's not Terrence Mann, and Terrence Mann is where they're drawing the line,
absolutely,
they simply don't want James
You
Harden.
Don't want him. You don't.
Like,
there's no way.
I keep circling back to is like, I understand the Clippers don't want to up their price because they're essentially bidding against themselves at this point. That they don't see a market going out. The Sixers would very much benefit if another team can show up. The team that I look toward that I think makes sense for that is the Miami Heat. I could see the Heat trying to get involved in this. I think the Harden versus Heat culture would be very fun to see down in Miami.
You think he running what? Yeah. Going out? Yeah, okay.
But from
not playing defense.
Okay. That too, yeah. Supposed to play
those body percentage tests and all those things.
Yes.
But from a basketball perspective, absolutely, James Harden makes sense for what the Heat need. They lost Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. They're 2 starting guards. Yeah, right now, Kyle Lowry is their starting point guard going into this year. And we saw the best version of Kyle Lowry in last year's playoffs. Was give him a 15-minute run. He leaves it all on the floor. He's good. And that's all he's got.
And is Victor coming back? I know he got hurt last year, Oladipo.
Oh, no, he got traded in he's technically, yeah, I believe he's in India. He's right now. He's going to be traded.
But he's not in Miami. Okay. That's the point I'm getting at. So yeah, just have going into the season with Kyle Lowry as your number one guard going in. That's not an ideal situation. So I could definitely see Miami. And I did hear reports and things of that nature of Miami potentially maybe some 3-team situation that they can handle. But again, if James go, I am like Morey. I know we ain't gonna get the Dame Lillard treatment or nothing like that, but if you talking about Terrence Mann, first rounders, maybe some other players from another team or something like that, even if they're just like role players, I mean, it is what it is essentially at this point. If it's something that just really needs to be done. Go ahead, Skip.
So, will James Harden be traded?
Yep.
So, because there's so many variables.
There's a lot of variables with it, yes.
I think he will be traded.
Okay.
And reason being is because the Sixers organization is clearly looking in the best interest of the Sixers organization.
Absolutely.
If they were just looking in James Harden's best interest or what he wanted, he would have been gone.
Mm-hmm.
Morey's not going to just take pennies on the dollar for James Harden. So James Harden has to bring back value to the organization in order for the trade to happen. Now, will he play out the entire season and then he just walks and the Sixers get nothing in return for the investment that they already made? It's probably not going to happen. They're not going to allow that to happen. They're not going to allow James Harden, one of your biggest assets, to just walk out of the door and get nothing for him. So, yeah.
If you can trade Ben Simmons, you can trade James Harden. I don't care what nobody says.
That was robbery. But again, there's also there's not a big market for James Harden. There's like two specific teams who all reached out for, information.
Contenders. Because
right.
Obviously some of the lower level teams obviously take that as expiring. You know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely. But he ain't going like
send me Dorton. I don't even need Shy because I know he ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere, yeah.
Send me Dorton and Baisley and a first, and he's going. Like,
and they got plenty of it for sure.
But or Giddy, send me Giddy.
I'll take you out, Josh.
But yeah, I definitely think he'll be traded. Only in a basketball sense of they need to get value back. Like Terrence Mann is not by himself. He's not a needle mover.
No.
However, another big variable is the fact that the growth of Maxey. You know what I mean? And his role getting ramped
obviously,
up.
if he goes, that's
Maxey's
going to have to. It's like that's without a doubt. That's going to happen.
But the Sixers might feel a little more comfortable with seeing the growth of Maxey. Like maybe throughout the first maybe 20
1
games,
or 2, yeah.
And they see Maxey is kind of turning up. I feel a little more comfortable moving him, and maybe getting higher draft compensation or, a player that can come in and contribute instead of a player that's just going to get stashed like a Furkan Korkmaz or something. Right?
Hey, don't talk about Furk. He was on the not injury report, but he was inactive the other night. He's certified.
Had to sit all our stars.
I had to sit all the stars. And B, James Harden, and Furkan Korkmaz.
Stop.
He's certified. He ain't going no. Tyrese, that's crazy though. Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, and PJ Tucker played in a preseason game, and Furkan Korkmaz
got to sit. That's terrible.
Runs the show, man. It was so funny to me media day too. It went Embiid, Maxey, Harris, and then Furkan.
Right. He's really a part of the group, yo. That's the only guy I know. I see something funny. The only guy I know, they said, the only person I know that requested a trade twice and never got his wish. I was like, that's crazy, yo. That is sad, but Furkan, man, you still here, so we rocking with you, Furk. Maybe this finally the breakout season in year, 5, 6, 7? He's been here.
Behind Embiid, he's the
so he about 9 years in then, because Embiid been here 9 years, yeah. Oh, that's wild. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, Furkan, you certified. You good in our book in Philly, baby. The Turkish, what they call him? The Turkish something. All right, man. So we got James Harden. So everyone, we do agree that James pretty much will be traded this year. Outside of like some like miracle where he just be like, yeah, I'm gonna stay.
I think that was Daryl Morey's dream situation. Is that I think Morey looks at this and he said, "There's no player I can trade that gives these Sixers a better chance to win than James Harden." Yep, so the best case scenario from Daryl Morey's perspective, I do believe, is James Harden wants to suit up and play for these Sixers. The thing that I think is interesting is you look at this from the James Harden perspective. His end goal is absolutely getting another massive contract. He doesn't care where that is, that it's about the dollar amount is what he has eyes on. So he doesn't do himself any good by causing a scene, not showing up, dogging things in the way that we've seen him do on past teams. So that's where I think this balance is going to be interesting of how serious is he about getting traded? How serious is he about this contract? And I also think this summer should have been a wake-up call to him that, like, there's no longer a blank check attached to my name as a basketball player, that we see there's limitations to what my value is, and that is for good reason. That we know that he is taking a step back physically. For that to come with the same headaches, maybe he's not worth the price to teams. So it will be interesting. I think Harden is probably going to play out as much as he can in a way that I'm more optimistic about him being like taking the team approach of things than I initially was heading into the season. So I feel good about that. But I think we're in it for the long haul, and I don't see a deal happening at least until midway through the season.
That's why I bring up the factor earlier. Like, when you're around your guys, you be here long enough, and you winning.
And they are his guys, too.
Absolutely.
Like, absolutely. Even the new guys that we're bringing in, the Patrick Beverleys.
Absolutely.
Like, these are guys he has relationships with and respect.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why, to me, personally, ultimately he'll be traded, I do believe. But it's still that glimmer of hope. Maybe he can stay. And I do agree with, like you said, the best, whether people like it or not, literally the best solution to all this is for him to stay.
Yeah.
Just hands down. Just being honest about it. I know how they displayed in the playoffs last year, what they done, what they didn't do. But like you said, if you subtract James Harden, yes, even if Maxey takes that step in scoring and creating more, you can't replace 10 dimes a night. Yeah, and I know Maxey's a hard worker. I know, but some people are just naturally gifted at something like that. And James Harden is one of those dudes that's like, he's just take it even as far as back as OKC. Who was the point guard at the end of the games? It wasn't Russell Westbrook.
At all.
It was James Harden at the end of those games down the stretch, because it was something that he's naturally gifted to be able to do. And I want to ask this then. In the new system, since we might as well stay Sixers, if James Harden was to stay and I'm gonna start with you because you've been tapped in a bit down there, Sean. With Nick Nurse, his presence with this team, how do you think he will, what's his approach with the team in general? And then also, if James was to be here for whatever significant time he's here, how you think he will utilize him as well?
Yeah, one of the things that Nick Nurse has talked about that I think is interesting is having a plan A and a plan B versus if James Harden's there versus if James Harden's not, which is kind of the unfortunate reality of what the team has to deal with right now. In either case, there's much more ball movement. There's much more player movement around the ball. We're not going to see this two-man isocentric offense that Doc Rivers ran these past 3 years with the Sixers. That's very exciting to me. For James Harden specifically, that's not really his style of basketball whatsoever. That the only time he's truly locked in on the basketball court is when he has the ball. Has the ball, hands.
Absolutely.
He's not a guy that's going to move off ball, not going to be a guy playing defense, doing all these things. So there is some conflicting stuff with the Nick Nurse system. But Embiid is absolutely bought in from the more movement, more passing, all these things. He's speaking highly of it in the way that it translates to winning. I think a lot of the guys are buying in. So I am excited to see this new look offense. I'm very much in on Nick Nurse. I wish that the pieces were more in, that I could be like, this team's got it. Because I do think Nick Nurse is clearly a championship-level coach. He's one of the best coaches in the NBA. So I am excited about what this offense is going to look like. And if I have to boil it down to something simple, it's going to be more movement, more passing, and just more looks at things. It's going to be a lot fresher and a lot more interesting than seeing the same thing in the way that we did these past couple of years.
And I mean, you seen it. I know it. We love honesty from our players, but I feel like it was a shot at Doc.
Oh yeah,
we all seen the post from Daniel House when they asked him, what's the difference? He straight doesn't. Man, it's night and day. like last year, it was just two guys just dribbling. This year, everyone can eat. Everyone can get the ball, no matter who you are. If you open, shoot it. If you cut in, back cuts, down screens, off ball screens, pick and rolls are still. So I do agree with you as far as I love the approach that he's bringing to the team. Because we even speaking with you throughout the year, and both of you guys, we always said, like, when Embiid is in the post, why isn't the corner man cutting down?
Right.
Why isn't he setting one for him to pin down because he can pop out his... Like, they're just standing there looking. It makes it so easy to defend this guy when you can have 4 to 5 players just staring at him, knowing that no one else out there is going to be able to do anything.
And as much as we want to come out Embiid for kind of some late game shortcomings and like not being able to come in big moments, it's a lot to ask a guy just give the ball and go make
just
something happen.
Right.
Do the
Especially,
man a favor.
And I'll let you finish. And not only that, a center. Like, it's one thing if you're giving the ball to KD, Kyrie, LeBron James, whoever. Yeah. But we talking about a center. Right. You just tell him to just do it. Like, what?
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, Embiid is a talent. He's a great player. Yes. He's a dominant player, but he's not a playmaker.
Absolutely.
So when you put the ball in a Kyrie hands or KD's hands, not only can they make a play for themselves, they can make a play for others, which is why it's such a big threat and easy to ask them to do that. But to ask Embiid to do that with his back to the basket, when you got your back to the basket, that's essentially another defender.
Absolutely.
You still got to turn around, you still got to square up, you still got to shoot, you still got to find a way to get open. Then you still got a defender on your back, and you still got help coming.
3 other ones coming the other way.
So to even ask Embiid to do that is kind of crazy. And I think Embiid doesn't get Embiid does get credit, but he don't get the credit that he should be getting because of what Doc Rivers has been asking him to do the past couple seasons. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
I mean, like I said, I'm all for the movement. I'm a big component of movement, and I know no one is Golden State. That's a different breed of movement. But when they implemented that, let you know that it's okay to have a little bit of a free flowing system where it's like move. Like, what's the old saying? Everyone, you 5 years old growing up, you know this. The ball moves faster than the players. Period. There's no way you can run faster than the basketball. So if you swinging it, making cuts, diving to the basket, and you saying that the playmaking aspect of Embiid, would he ever be like that as far as a guard or a wing player? No. But can he improve in that area? Absolutely. But you also got to give him the tools to be able to do that. We have no one moving or people on the perimeter that can't shoot. It's like, who am I passing to and why? Yeah. And you see the frustration at times with Embiid. He's just like, F it. I'm just going to go up against 4 people and just do what I got to do. Whether he running with the ball in his hand or he got his back to the basket, essentially, like that. We have something to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with that point as well. It's like, as much as he's not a superb playmaker or passer by any means, but there's also been passes that aren't there for him to make. Like, make it easy for the guy. Have a back cut. Have a guy set some off-ball motion. Let's set things up so there's passes for him to make rather than him having to create one for others. So I'm optimistic about that from Nurse's perspective. And I think Embiid's bought in that he's ready for this level of his progression as well.
He better be ready because if it fails, I don't know about next year, but we hopefully don't have to cross that bridge when we get there, though, for sure, though. But this is definitely going to be a pivotal season for a lot of reasons with the Sixers, I believe. And I would say on the court and even organizationally, essentially like that. Because I would even sit there. I mean, granted, he doesn't do anything, but you still got to look at a person like Elton, obviously, and be the possibility of him asking out essentially like that. And even someone like Tyrese Maxey, who's on a contract year, essentially. Like, well, he's eligible for extension. So it's like, what are you going to do with him? Then you got, for all intents and purposes, a lot of older guys. PJ, he'll be done his contract. Pat Bev on a 1-year contract. Daniel House, another 1-year contract. Tobias, another one that's on his way out the door. So it's like, this ain't like just cut and dry, long as we get Embiid, we good. No, this whole team is in a bit of a pickle, and if it doesn't end correctly, next year can look totally different as far as what this team should be and where it will be.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the plan for this team right now. Is there's like a 2-year plan that all these guys that they brought in, the Mo Bambas, the Patrick Beverleys, the Kelly Oubres, these are all 1-year deals. Addition. That if it does not work out, they walk for nothing and we restart things. The Sixers are trying to put themselves in a position where they still have Joel Embiid. They plan on signing Tyrese Maxey to as much money as he possibly wants, and they should.
Throw the book in.
What are you talking about? And Rich Paul ain't let you go out that door without throwing the whole bank at him.
Yeah, and then it's cap space, and then it's let's recruit, let's get some talent in here. The guys that aren't working, we don't want them back. And it's also no coincidence that Joel Embiid is deciding to play in the Olympics in the same summer that they have all this cap space.
About that, let's go there for it, because I thought the same thing you said. Because I know people are, and I know, what's his name? What's his name? The young guy, the rookie. I don't know how to say it. He went to Spurs now.
Victor Wembanyama.
Victor Wembanyama. Yeah. I know they recently just asked him about Joel joining the team, and he was like, damn, it's cool, but I don't have any say, but I feel bad for Cameroon. And don't get me wrong, I was the same way. I'm like, we talked about it. Actually, I talked to you. I was like, listen, I would love for him to go back and play for his home country for sure. Cool. But cool. When I heard that he went to USA, that he committed to USA, forget all the other stuff, USA super team, all that crap. The first thing I thought about was what you just said was like, what Embiid trying to do? Mm-hmm. What's he trying to do? We knock on him a lot as far as, he don't really integrate himself with the other players, go out with. The only person you ever know he really be out with is Steph. When Steph comes to town, they go to dinner every time he comes to town. Steph and Tatum, yeah, that's his guy. So those are the only two you really hear about him, and Jimmy, obviously, now. But this is even the offseason wise. As much as you've seen, this is the most you've seen him beat outside in the offseason. He's been here 9 years. This is the first time you see him be outside during the. I'm talking about outside.
Yeah.
At parties with Rick Rubin and obviously getting married and stuff like that. The most you've seen him be, he'll be down South Footy playing tennis with Daryl Morey at Drexel or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So that, when I heard that, that's literally what I thought about. I'm like, what is he doing? Because that's what they do all their work.
Oh yeah.
That's how Bradley Beal got to Phoenix. Essentially like that. That's how who else made some KD originally with Kyrie down in Brooklyn. This is where they make the magic. This is the tampering that they can do.
Yeah. The seeds get planted.
Yes. Miami. Why Dame wanted to go to Miami so bad? It was because he developed a relationship with Bam Adebayo this past Olympics that they had when they was out there with KD United. That's literally how that happened. So it's like, okay, Embiid, I see the word, like you said, cap space. If they get picks, a lot of, like you said, sign Maxey. If you got Maxey and Joel Embiid back, I mean, you might could talk him into it. I mean, and if he's down there doing his work, he could probably draw, because you got a nice little free agency class that's coming out. You could talk about it, and then also talk about the new additions that the team had as well, what you like about them.
So it's like, okay, is Joel Embiid doing Team USA to recruit?
I believe that's a part of it.
Or is he going down there?
I believe it's a part of it
to get recruited.
I don't think you go with the intention of being recruited, but are people going to talk to him? Hell yeah! Why wouldn't you? You're standing next to Joel Embiid. Like you kidding me?
And I think he carries himself as I'm the best basketball player here. I think that he has that mindset. So I hear you. That's not off the table. But
absolutely, it's always variables to all these things. Again, do I believe he's going with the intention of that? No.
Nah.
But if someone say something nice, sprinkle a little.
Because I mean, you got a player that's coming to you. That's a top 10 player in the league. And he's like, look, your team about to lose all these pieces. We got these pieces over here. All we need is you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And we don't even need you to do everything that you did there. We just need you to just come play. That might be a little more intriguing, especially if they got the money to pay him. Now, Embiid don't seem like he don't strike me as somebody who's all about the money right now. He never struck. Even when he got the big deal from the Sixers, he didn't strike me as somebody that was about the money like Harden.
Right.
Yeah.
But that'll be a part of it, because as you get older, you want
absolutely,
contracts.
You want to be compensated for what you do. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I mean, not saying he can just easily be talked into it, but that's definitely a risk.
Like Sean said,
going to Team USA.
definitely can be planted. Absolutely.
It's a risk.
Like you said, you got people like the Knicks, I'm not saying they're gonna have someone out there. I'm just naming some teams that's gonna have some space. The Heat, another one. Maybe Indiana got somebody out there. I mean, they're a young team. They got a lot of pieces out there. Someone like that. I'm just East teams. Shoot, you got Chicago out there. Maybe they done with Vucevic. I mean, even though they re-signed them, but I mean, there's a lot of different teams. And then if you want to go West Side, like I said, he best friends with Stephen Curry. You think they want to take Joel Embiid next year?
Over Looney?
What?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, I mean, shoot. And I know this is far-fetched, but let's say James get to L.A. and then be like, yo, slide out here with us. We'll get rid of more young players for you. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that can happen while they're out there. But then also the additions to the team. What's your take on how we added to this team, essentially?
There's a young guy that's like flying kind of under the radar right now, but he's like a super athlete that I'm like, I want to see him get a little chance. I don't expect him to get a big chance, but I want to see a little bit. Ricky Council.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see him. I want to see him get a little bit of opportunity because in the NBA, like, okay, so I'll go back a couple seasons where we complained about the Sixers just lacking athletes. Like, we had good players, but we didn't have athletes. We weren't able to physically keep up with some of the younger, high flying teams, the up and down type of teams. So Ricky Council kind of fits
the
that
style,
bill.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
A wing athletic.
So he's a wing that's athletic. I mean, he can shoot. I mean, he did kind of had to rework his form.
He can work on it, yeah.
He's been working on it or whatever.
Absolutely.
But I mean, he's improved with that. He has the size, speed, athleticism. Like he can play.
Yeah.
He doesn't need the experience. He doesn't need playing time. But that's kind of going to be hard to get right now. But I would love to see him get an opportunity and take the reins with it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Ricky Council, interesting character. Coolest thing about him to me is he has 3 brothers. Ricky Council the first, Ricky Council the second, Ricky Council the third. So he's Ricky Council the fourth.
Literally the fourth.
Yeah. All his brothers, not Junior's situation there. So I do like that about him. The jump shot, I do think needs work. That to me, unfortunately, I think that's going to be pretty sink or swim for him for opportunity and even career-wise. That I think there is some mechanical work that needs to be done. I hope it has been by the time we get to seeing him on the floor, that it looks a little different. I also love Terquavion Smith, another one of their two-way guys. That's my dude out of this young class.
You talk about since you've seen him.
I love him. I loved him for 2 years. I had him as a first-round target last year, and then he decided to come back to college. His stock even went down a little bit. I honestly think that was more so because of the personnel. He played next to Jarkel Joyner, who's on a two-way deal with the Dallas Mavericks, so another NBA fringe talent there. I think they had a lot of overlapping similarities and weaknesses, and I think that hurt Turk's draft stock a little bit, but I'm happy he fell in Philly, and I do think that when he gets the opportunity, he's going to be very good. He's got some Tyrese Maxey in him with like his attitude, his
flair,
and he can hoop. He's a guy that can catch fire. I want to get your guys' thoughts on Kelly Oubre a little bit.
Okay.
I think that's going to be a player that everyone's going to have a strong opinion of at some point this season. What do you think of Tsunami Papi?
I'm laughing because he's in the category of, for me, like the J.R. Smiths of the world.
Oh, yeah. Nick Young was a
drive you crazy, but then turn around and do something crazy. Like what? So like you just said, the strong opinion was a good word to use there, because I swear to God, after every game, there's going to be something to say about this guy. It's either something he's done crazy on the court or how good he's good. Like, see, this is all we need you to do. And then the next week, he come down and shoot 3 threes. And like, bro, what are you doing? Pass the ball to the. So he's going to, me personally, he's going to drive me nuts.
He's what we call a no yes guy. No. Yes. He's one of them guys.
Absolutely.
For sure.
But overall, just the signing itself, I love it.
Me too.
It's something that we needed for so long.
Yeah, different type of player than the Sixers have had. Like a true wing when we talk about size, a guy that can self-create, get his own shot. That has not been on the Sixers bench these past couple seasons. There's going to be days where we're frustrated by Kelly Oubre, for sure. We're going to have to know that going in. But I do think the pros outweigh the cons, and he's on a contract that if it's not a Kelly Oubre night, Just get him out there.
Nick Nurse. If you ever see this, if Kelly Oubre start doing Kelly Oubre stuff, come sit next to me. Yeah.
Just sit next to me because he's going to. But I mean, to get back even to the young guys that you guys brought up, because I like them as well. I do believe with Nick Nurse, under Nick Nurse rather than Doc Rivers, he will at least give him a shot at times. Whereas we all know, Doc, if you're young, you ain't playing. Period. They literally had to force them to play Tyrese Maxey. That's
Check
not
that birth certificate.
Yes. If it's in 98 and up, you're done, okay? Yeah. You're done. You got to be under 98 because you ain't playing. But seriously, though, I mean, it took upper management essentially to just get him to throw Tyrese. We seen early on Tyrese, not saying he needed to play 25, 30 minutes a night, but we knew, first of all, he was ready for the NBA to play in it, and we knew he had a specific talent, but he just really didn't want to unleash him, so he kept putting Ben Simmons out there in certain moments. And granted, even if you want to, have him out there with him at least in the game. But he didn't even want to do that. You bringing in JJ Reddick's and the Seth Currys and stuff like that. Granted, they can shoot, but I mean, come on, put some more talent out there. Good, you guys.
And if Ben Simmons never holds out, who knows when we would have seen Tyrese Maxey.
And all nationality, seriously. Yeah. Because the following season, Tyrese had to start until they got James Harden here. So it's like, who would have known? What's the meme that was on the ESPYs that year? Thanks, Ben Simmons, when they were talking about he's building the brick. But essentially, thank you, because if you think about it, if Ben wasn't moved, a lot of different things wouldn't have transpired. Not saying Maxey wouldn't have been playing eventually because they spent a first rounder on him, but how long would it took to have seen him essentially like that? I mean, would have been probably in all actuality, if not last year, the year before. Well, no, last year would probably be the first year you actually seen Tyrese Maxey play for real,
right.
For him to have, because he would have been 3 years in essentially at this point. So we talk about not knowing what we would have been as far as playoffs wise of winning. We probably still would have did the same thing, losing the second round, but still, you still would just have known how we can sit here and say now, like, oh, if James was a lead, sign Maxey, make sure you were good. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't know that. We'll be sitting there talking about, damn, is Maxey good enough to be able to take the lead and stuff like that? So I agree. When it comes to that, I mean, Maxey take a step, Oubre as a wing. I like obviously Joel Embiid back. I like the length that they got. Obviously, you know, Mo Bamba ain't no needle mover, but he's there. Paul Reed, let's see if he take the jump. Pat Bev is there.
I like Pat Bev.
Pat Bev, he's good for the locker room. I don't care what nobody say. I know Pat Bev is a funny dude. He have antics. He's a great dude to have for a locker room. 100%. I'm about to say Anthony Davis. Anthony Edwards literally swears by Patrick Beverley as far as being the person that pushed him to be where he supposed to be, who he is now, essentially like that. That 1 year he was in Minnesota. So I love that. I don't care about the signing of Danny Green. I mean, that's more so of a leadership role as well, because you need it, obviously, especially if PJ Harden leaves, stuff like that.
I love it.
You need those guys in there. You need those guys in there.
Simply because I'd rather have Danny Green out there for 10 minutes than George Niang. I'm sorry.
It always comes back to the minivan.
I'm sorry.
No, but I mean, he got a little juice left. I'm not playing on no more than about 10 minutes. That's it. Give me 10 minutes, hit me 3 threes, and we going to pull you on now. We good, baby. Right,
shoot 3 threes, get a little reach around still every now and then.
That, and get on out of there. But we'll see, man. I know we're down. I know the city is down. And rightfully so. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys don't to care about them, put your heart into it, none of that stuff, because they don't deserve it, essentially. Like, the team doesn't deserve it at this present moment. What they displayed last year, they don't deserve what they put on that floor. But do we have some things that we can look forward to, bright spots, to just be like, let's see if it can grow here, let's see if we can get something out of here? Absolutely. All of the additions do Do you believe we need something else? Are we missing anything? Do you believe a shooter or maybe another big or a guard maybe or something like that? What do you guys think? And this will be the last thing we'll move on. What do you think we need for the Sixers now moving on, if anything? Or you think we're good?
Yeah, I still think it's still the James Harden question. That right now it's let's see what the outcome to that is. And I do think there's a world where these Sixers are put in a better spot.
So let's say this. Someone with and without James, what do you think is needed? So if you was to lose James, what do you think is needed for this team to continue to contend? And then if he's here, what do you think they need to take that next step, rather as a player or just they're elevating their game?
Okay, so let's say we're entering the playoffs with James Harden still on the roster. I still think we could use an upgrade at the wing position, mainly as a defender, a guy that can go eye to eye with a Jason Tatum or a Jaylen Brown or a player of that caliber. I still don't feel great about Tobias Harris or PJ Tucker being the best options for that.
Or
right
even
now.
Kelly?
Even Kelly, I don't think is the quality of defender I'm looking for this. If James Harden is traded, I think there's likely going to be a need for some sort of true point guard. As great as Maxey is, as much as I expect him to grow in this area, I think he's always going to be at his best as a score-first guy. And I even want to make sure that that's in his head, that I should always be able to go and get mine. So I kind of think having just not Kyle Lowry, but a player like that, like a veteran on the tail end of their career that can come in, play some positive minutes, be a good, I guess, guy to bounce off for Maxey, something like that. Not a James Harden, but something in that replacement, I think, is something that if Harden's moved, I would like to see replaced.
In any target specifically? I know you heavy into who's out there essentially like that. Is there someone that you on another team or in free agency or anything like that you look to that like possibly, not saying it's a guarantee, but you would like that scenario if that's there?
So I'll say this with the Clippers deal. I know this is not in the Sixers plan because they're so focused on the cap space plan and he's on a multi-year deal, but I really like Norman Powell. I think Norman Powell would be an excellent addition to this team when you throw him in the starting lineup. So when we talk about a Clippers trade, as much as this does mess things up down the line a little bit, for me, paying $20 million a year for Norman Powell is absolutely fine, and I'm okay with going into that as eating into the cap space a little bit. So Norman Powell's a guy that I would love to see in a Sixers.
How many years left is on his? What,
3.
about 3? Okay, I was I know it's like 2 or 3. But yeah.
So a guy, it probably wouldn't be popular, but I feel like this guy can actually contribute and still play. Obviously, it wouldn't be a multi-year deal; it'd be like a 1-year thing. But Isaiah Thomas, man.
Okay,
I like that.
Okay,
I think Isaiah Thomas can still contribute on the NBA team.
Like T.
Yeah,
he wants
he
back.
He could definitely run a second unit for sure. He could definitely spell hard in that point guard. Now, is he small? Yes. Is he going to be a defensive problem? Yes, but so is Harden.
But I also think, like you said, in that bench rule is not as big of a hindrance because we only talking about.
You're going against the second unit, you're not going against
10 minutes, 15 minutes a night. On a good night, if you hot, maybe you get that 20 minutes if you going for 30 or something. So within that role, I didn't think about that. That's actually decent. You talk about a certified bucket getter coming off the bench.
And that's the thing, because obviously defense is not his strong suit,
right.
Just like Harden. However, just like Harden, his offense is his defense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if somebody scores 15 on him, he got to score 20 on you to get, know Absolutely. What I mean, to be the plus minus to be right. So I feel like that he could contribute. Now, wouldn't be a needle mover? Probably not, because you still have to. The defense wins championship. You have to defend, point blank. Period. So
I mean, with that, you
but
saying
if
that, thinking about that lineup, that's what I'm saying. Because you talking about him. You still got D'Anthony Melton that's coming off the bench. Mm-hmm. Pat Bev will still be coming off the bench. Depending on how they shake it out, Paul Reed will still be coming off the bench with him too as well. Obviously, they have to figure out the whole roster. But even if you mix and match with some of the starters, if you got him out there with like a Kelly and Tobias with Embiid that time, I mean, you can mix it up essentially is what I'm getting at as far as so you can maybe. I think this year, this is the most length the team has had in recent years. That's why I believe you could probably high IT of just a little bit, essentially, especially we already dealing with someone like Maxey. You already going to have to hide out there with them other guys and stuff like that. So IT is good. I never thought of that. That's actually a good, hey, man, Daryl. just talk to him. Like, just see where he at, see where his head at. You never know. You know what I mean?
He's in
Stuff
shape.
like
He's
that.
playing in the league. Like he just had 50, like
Yeah.
56. I mean, granted, he playing against janitors and plumbers.
But still, it was effortless for him.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Still got to make the shots. You know
I mean, think about it. I look at it as a role as if Van Fleet can survive in Toronto out there with his stature, come on. And I'm gonna be real. We just talk about straight bag and getting buckets. I'm taking IT over Fred Van Fleet. Me personally, I don't know what y'all talking about. We can argue about it, but I'm taking IT over Rick Van Fleet. I'm sorry about that.
IT's averaged 30 plus for a season before at the NBA.
At that size,
being the lead guy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
that one Celtics year was special.
That's why it hurt me so bad. I'm like, damn, bro, y'all did my man like that. Just got him out of there. Granted, it was Kyrie and everybody coming, but still, like the man kept y'all relevant for a couple of years when y'all had no one out there essentially like that. So that was a good one. I didn't even think about it. You threw me off with that. I'm like, let me see who I. So Sixers, I do like Norman Powell as well. I'm not against the Terrence Mann situation. I mean, it ain't great, but like
I definitely don't love him as much as some people seem to.
Right, and I think I'm with you with that. Like I understand. But I think we have the better version of Terrence Mann already in Tyrese Maxey. Literally, I really do believe that. He might be shorter because Terrence Mann has the height because what you want, 6'4", maybe now. But other than that, that's the only thing he really has on Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey's a better shooter. Mm-hmm. If he comes to this season, he has creation better than Tyrese Maxey right now. Obviously, he's bigger, so he can get to the hole a little bit better. But if Tyrese Maxey come back with a better on the floor game, I mean, what we talking about here? We don't need a Terrence Mann, but I would say that. I mean, obviously, you still got me personally. I would love the backup point guard, but if not that, just another shooter for me, because I don't think it's really much more defense you can get out there as far as acquisitions essentially as a player. But if you can get another shooter, like you said, you still got Buddy out there that's hanging out there as well. If you can get maybe Buddy over here or something like that, I would love a Buddy situation coming off the bench too. Just to give me 15 to 20 points a night, even if it's like 13, 14, something like that. I take Buddy. Yes. And we ain't never, other than JJ and Seth Curry, we've never had anyone that just come in and just be able to shoot like that. So
and by the way, Buddy Hield better than both JJ Redick and
absolutely. Yeah. First of all, he's taller than both of us. Let's start there. Length, pause. I don't want Cam and Mace to come at me on this joint, but being tall matters in this league. You know, they're getting taller and taller, being able to do everything the small guys can do essentially like that. So I agree with that, man. Nice, Red. We're going to move on to last subject. Just the NBA offseason. We're going to run through it. Obviously, we all know the acquisitions. Dame Lillard, DeAndre Ayton, Drew Holiday, Porzingis in Boston. Who else? Who else got moved this offseason? Big names. I think that's it as far as Bradley Beal in Phoenix, out there in Phoenix. They had a lot of smaller acquisitions, but let's just talk about the big guys, where they landed. So Porzingis and Drew in Boston, Bradley in Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton in Trailblazers, and what's her face?
Dame Lillard
in Milwaukee.
I'm in on this Milwaukee Bucks team, unfortunately, that I think the Dame and Giannis combo is going to be really good. I think Dame is kind of a balance to Giannis's power, a guy that can spread the floor, shoot from deep, open things up. I think as a pick-and-roll partner, seeing Giannis as a roll man is going to be awesome. I think having the defense of Brook Lopez and Giannis behind Dame Lillard is going to be great. I love Brook Lopez as well. I think he's such a unique player.
I love him, but he's annoying. And that uniqueness is why he's annoying. Yeah. That's exactly why he's annoying.
For sure annoying to play against, but he's a guy who has turned himself into a legitimately good shooter at 7 feet tall, a guy that's a defensive player of the year candidate. He's a very good basketball player. And we're still talking about Chris Middleton is still on that team, that he's still going to be a guy who's going to get his on a night-by-night basis. So Bobby Porter's still there. They got some pieces around the edges. I like this Milwaukee team. I would put them the winner. I think they did a great job swooping in and winning the Dame Lillard sweepstakes.
So you don't think they lost too much? Or is the game that much significance that it's not going to hurt you?
Yeah, I think Milwaukee's biggest issue has always been their half-court offense, that for as great as Giannis is, he's never a guy that makes it look easy going out and just getting a bucket. He has to work for everyone. When you add Dame Lillard to that half-court, a guy that is even at this point in his career, is still a top 5 offensive engine across the entire NBA. You throw that on that team, that to me is a championship contender, absolutely. So they did lose a lot in the trade for sure, but I think it was a worthwhile risk. And you're also proving to Giannis we're doing everything possible to build a contender here, as he kind of put a little bit of pressure on him about his next contract. So I think it's a slam dunk for Milwaukee.
And you can expound on that too, but then also get into the fact that what you think about Drew in Boston with Porzingis and everything like that. Good.
So the Milwaukee trade was definitely a needle mover for Milwaukee. 100%. However, with Boston, okay, we're the same conference, okay, and you have to understand that Drew Holiday and Porzingis is now with Jason Tatum. Now Jason Tatum is probably a legit 6'10", probably 6'9", 6'10". Yeah. You got Porzingis, another 7-footer, and you still got Horford over there. All of these players can switch and guard Giannis. So now you have
all this for Embiid. Giannis. You see all these people? They are doing this for Embiid. All this length, these tall guys. They know what's coming. No.
But then Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown are defensive guards. So, there's a lot of talk about how, it's going to open up the lane for Giannis. But in order for Dame to just be getting clean shots, he's going to have to shoot 40 feet out consistently. Now, can he do it? Yes. Can he do it consistently? I don't even think Steph is if you defend it shooting from 40 feet out that's probably one of the worst shots in basketball. Some people are blessed to make a higher percentage than others, but that's a 29. That's not even 29 because the average is 33% 3-point shooting.
Well, yes. Mm-hmm.
So
33, 34.
That's like a 24% shot. You know what I mean? So I think I would take that. You know what I mean? So is it a needle mover for Milwaukee in terms of how they want to operate? Yes, but do I think it can be defended? And I think Boston has the pieces. Yes. Yeah. Now, the Sixers. That might be an issue.
Yes, that's where I was going. It is going to be an issue. It is. Because just think about the lineups.
There's a gap.
Drew, Jason, Jaylen, Al Horford, Porzingis. Mm-hmm. Then you think about, like you said, Milwaukee.
There's not one person in that lineup that can't shoot the three.
Right.
Not one person.
And not one person
spreading the floor
that can't, to some point, defend. Because even as hurt as Porzingis has been, he damn near led the league one year in blocks. So it's not like, I'm not saying he's a post defender where he can take the banging and the beating, but if you're sitting talking about Horford on him, he playing the weak side, coming over against some block stuff like that. Like you said, first of all, you got to get past the perimeter. Mm-hmm. You got 3 dudes up there. You got 2, it's 6'9", 6'10", and then Drew at 6'3", locking down everybody.
Not to mention Derek White.
That's coming off the bench probably, or he might start maybe. But again, either way, it's like that 5 right there. And you look at Milwaukee, Dame, Chris, whoever at the 3, probably Connaughton probably is going to play at the 3, who's another solid defender. Brooke and Giannis. Then you still got Bobby coming off the bench.
Yeah.
That's all of them. He can get a bucket, shoot, and all of them can do what? Defend. The Sixers in trouble.
I'm mad about the Celtics too. Is I was so ready to be like Celtics were taking a huge step back this year that I think Marcus Smart was way more important than they gave credit. Losing him is going to be huge.
Then they got a better Marcus Smart.
They lost Brogdon too, didn't they?
What's that?
They lost Brogdon too, didn't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they got Drew Holiday, and I'm like, wow, that's like a perfect replacement for what they're doing.
Literally the perfect. Yeah. They got a better Marcus Smart. You're going to get everything you get from Marcus Smart without the knucklehead stuff. Yeah. That's all that they needed. They needed someone to just be like, yo, just stay here with us, do your job, and we good. Because Marcus Smart, we love playing the Celtics with Marcus Smart because he'll take ill-advised threes. Mm-hmm. He'll just try to scrap. You start doing some reasons. You love that because that's throwing off the team. Mm-hmm. Y'all rhythm, what y'all got to do. Everything that Drew, come in, I'm going to defend. I'm going to assist. I'm going to get the bucket when I need to get it, but I know who team this is. Let me get the ball to Jaylen. Let me get the ball to Jason, essentially like that. So it's like, that was probably the last place you needed Drew Holiday to go, when it comes to the conference. And that's why I say earlier, as far as the question, who do you think? We ain't going to get too much more defense. We got a lot of nice pieces defense-wise, but our best bet is to probably get as much offense that we possibly can get. That's why losing James also is like, that's going to be big.
Yeah.
That's the people, I know y'all mad. Losing James Harden for this Sixers team is going to be more significant for this team's future, this present season coming up, rather than just getting rid of him because you're upset at how he displayed last year. Absolutely. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say it. I know y'all not going to want to hear it, but it's true because what he brings to the table with his playmaking, with his scoring, creating for others, and then if you sit there and you get a leap from Maxey and Embiid and everything like that, it can make this team so much because you're going to need it. We just named two teams in our freaking conference that we're not better than right now. We're not better than. I know Embiid said it. No, we're not better than the on paper right now the Bucks and them like that. So I do believe that plays a part. And then also, like I said, I do in these trades as well. We had smaller players leave their destinations as well. And one big one, if you want to call him, but I got a friend who loves DeAndre Ayton, loves him.
I like him.
And I mess with him and I call him Kareem Abdul-Ayton because he thinks he a guy. And it might have been too far, but at the time he played like him. I called him DeAndre Ayton with a jump shot. I mean, not DeAndre Jordan with a jump shot because at the time, he couldn't create for him, so all he could do run to the rim, catch a lob, get a dunk, and then the only added element he had was being able to hit that little free throw foul shot. That's they got at me at it, but it's just like that's all he was. So he wasn't nothing special to me essentially. But he gets moved. He goes to the Blazers.
He looked happiest I've ever seen.
That's probably the best thing that'll probably be good for him.
100%.
Because he hated being he hated. That relationship in Phoenix was bad. It spoiled even when it came down to the coach of Monty. It was bad.
But the Blazers have an underrated squad with Ayton.
Oh yeah,
and that's the reason why I feel like that trade for them was significant. For one, Ayton is not one of those guys that's long in the tooth right now. He's not an old guy.
No, he was 25.
He might be one of the older guys of that
team. Yeah, okay.
But he also brings experience from those Phoenix teams. So he's played in big games. He's seen things that a lot of these younger guys that he's going to be playing with haven't seen.
Especially a guy like Scoot being there and there. I love him.
Anthony
Simon's going to be there.
You got Jeremy Grant.
Sharp. Yep.
You got Sharp. There's players.
Absolutely.
There's players
They're
there.
just young.
Portland will be fun this year.
Yes.
Now they might be a play-in team.
If it depends how fast they grow. How fast they grow throughout the year. Because how I look at them right now, I look at them as early on Sacramento when you had a young De'Aaron Fox, Scoot, fast, can create, get a bucket.
Young De'Aaron Fox didn't have Sabonis.
But that's what I'm getting to. That's why I said if you have Ayton from the jump. Anthony Simons is your running mate who's
real deal.
Played next. Yes, he played next to Dame 2 years now, so he has that experience. Shaedon Sharp came into his own last year. He's your wing guy, athletic, get a bucket. And like you say, you got Ayton, then you got Jeremy Grant, who's just a professional, another wing guy that's probably gonna play power forward for him. So like you say, they did it right as far as putting the right cast and is going to be their guy. You know what I'm saying? That's their meal ticket. So surround him with much talent. So I can see them, if they start clicking, coaching, and it's all up to Chauncey, obviously, getting them right, getting them ready. Can they sneak into a play-in situation? Yeah, but it is the West as well. It's more jumbled up out there than it is the East. The East is literally, because I don't even look at the Heat anymore being a major contender no more. They're going to be scrappy, but like, we just said Kyle Lowry is starting point guard. But we got that there. But other than that, I do like that. Who else got moved? CP3 out in there. I know you said you like him.
I do. I think there's one last run in this Warriors team, mainly because of Steph. Steph is not slowing down. I still think Steph is going to be a top 10 player in the NBA this season, a guy that's still going to be lighting things up. Clay still got a little
what do you think about that? Because they talk about it's funny. The internet is funny because they came out with the thing they talk about Clay going to be playing. I'm sorry. going to be guarding power forwards and small forwards and stuff now, right? It's a meme. It's a man just screaming, talking about why? Why? Talking about this is Clay after they told him he got to guard small forwards. Why? Why? Because it's like Clay's not. Yeah, you know what I mean? Clay's not. He's not Clay no more. Let's just be real. Clay's not Clay anymore. We know what he was. I think I like Steph. They're going to win games. I think their biggest hindrance is one, depth, and then obviously size. It's a big issue now. It's a major issue now because you don't even have Draymond for the first couple weeks to a month. So that's a month that's going to be gone.
Looney's good.
Looney's good, but it's Looney.
Yeah.
And I'm not discrediting him. I get it. For what he does for that team, offensively, 20.
Yeah. Well, that team and that system don't really require a big, to be honest with you. Like so they just plug in. It's like a plug and play big situation.
And I give you, and I agree. And I guess I'm more so speaking about the perimeter because CP3 said he's going to play. Steph going to play. Clay is going to play. That's 3 spots right there. And all of them are under 6'5".
Yeah.
All of them. And Clay is probably the tallest one out of all of them. And then even when Dre come back, it's another 6'6" guy. So that's 4 people right there that's under 6'6". That's 6'6" and under. And then Looney.
Kuminga is...
By the time he get then, he probably like 6'10" by the time he get finished going, essentially. But he's not a defender, though. Yeah. Kuminga's high fly, athletic.
He's fun.
You know what I mean? Oh, and you got Wiggins out there still. I can forget. I know Wiggins. He's so damn quiet. You can forget. And he's a defender out there. But
and he was in and out all last year.
Yeah. With that. So the team, I do agree they're going to win. It does. I forgot about that. So it will help. But how far it can take them when you go up against like a Jokic, even like an Anthony Davis. I mean, they lost to the Lakers last year, essentially like that for that reason. Anthony Davis was cooking though. With all the threes Steph wanted to do, they couldn't do anything with Anthony Davis. Then, like you said, you got these younger up-and-coming cats. Sacramento took them to the brink last year as well. Who else is out in the West? I ain't gonna say the Clippers. I know y'all like them, but they can beat the Clippers. Thunder, they're coming. They absolutely coming. Yeah. You know what? Back to our question earlier. That's what I'm looking out for. That's what I'm looking out for. Because you got Chet coming back. Gritty came to his own. Shaw, you got Dort out there being the bully out there as well. Your guy out there, Jalen Williams out there as well. Another 6 Joel of them. Yeah, I say both of them out there. So it's like, that's my team right there. OKC, I'm looking forward to them. And anything those other moves as well, we can keep them moving.
Yeah, no, I like OKC a lot. I'm a big Chet guy. I think people forget how good Chet
was. Absolutely,
and I think people are getting lost in the Victor Wembanyama eyes bright. Chet very much bringing a lot of the same thing. And I think when we have these big
if not better, if you want to be right, because he's more fluid with his movement and that. Yes.
And I think a lot of times when we see these big, tall, skinny guys, we automatically correlate like soft with them. Chet Holmgren is not soft. He's a guy that's going to compete.
He still won't get bullied, but still, I'll get you.
He's skinny, but he's going to get at you.
Yeah.
So I'm in on Chet. I'm in on the Thunder. I like that shot.
What do you think?
Chet's my rookie of the year pick, by the way.
Really? Okay. We're going to get into that. All right, because that's literally the last segment. If you want to touch anything real quick on the smaller moves that happen within the bigger moves.
Oh, man. Small move.
So you get, like you say, you got like CP3 out there. You know that the Blazers their moves, Porzingis was move. I know you have Bradley Beal. Speak on the Phoenix, that whole situation. We touched on everybody. Speak on Phoenix. What'd you think about Phoenix going into this year with the added Bradley Beal? You know the big three out there with them and everything like that. And it wasn't too much to give up because they also lost that.
They lost. Obviously, they lost CP. They also lost, it's an underrated loss, Campaign. So
don't forget the other two down in Brooklyn, lost them too. Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges as well.
That was big too. So I don't like Bradley Beal can be a playmaker. And I believe they're going to ask Devin Booker to kind of be the point guard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not personally a fan of that. I don't like that at all. Like I'd
rather KD if you're going to make one of these guys.
Yeah, and I've literally seen, Devin Booker has broken my heart many a time. I literally, me and a friend of mine, we had floor seats during the Phoenix game, and we watched Devin Booker hit a game-winning 3 and do the arrow celebration right in our face. I was so mad. But he's a scorer. He's a bucket. I don't need him doing it. I need
same
him
but
to
we put Maxey in. He's best served as going to go get a damn bucket.
Right. And it's not that he can't do it, but the best version of himself is not that. So losing somebody who did that for him, like in CP, losing somebody like Campaign, even though Campaign isn't CP3's level, it's still a
depth piece. It was a guard that they had coming off the bench, playing 15 minutes a night.
And then the fact that you got players that's just like the moment those players got picked up, man, I swear, because Phoenix literally depleted their entire roster.
Absolutely, they get Bradley Beal.
And then next thing you know, this person signed with Phoenix, that person signed with Phoenix. They picked up like 8 people. Like their entire team is different. So gaining continuity and everything in this short amount of time, especially putting 3-4 stars together, like that's difficult to do. Very difficult. So I am a fan of getting better, but as far as losing the head of the snake like that, I'm not a fan of it.
Without replacing them correctly. I agree. All right, well, there you go. We there. Just one more thing, then we're gonna get into some like end of the year season awards. We talk about Phoenix. Are they finally going to unleash Bobo? Is he finally going to be able to play, or is it just like a publicity stunt? He just out there in Phoenix just to sell tickets.
He'll get a couple minutes, but
what's the issue? Like, do you have a grasp on why Bobo? Because me personally, I'm legit curious. Like, every other tall guy can play. Wembanyama, Chet, whatever skinny tall guy, Mo Bamba, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? What's wrong with Bobo? Why won't Bobo ever just get the opportunity? It's something, I don't know.
I don't think there's one specific thing that is like the reason he's on the court, which I think when you're kind of a rotation guy, you have to have that. You have to be either a good enough shooter or a good enough defender. I think Bobo is pretty good at a lot of things. I don't think his movement is excellent. I think he looks a little too goofy, like a baby deer at times on the floor. Stuff like that. So I think he gets a little caught, doesn't quite look right. He's good. He'll get his opportunity, but I'm not a fan of the Flame. I think he's just a little behind the 8 ball compared to when we talk about these freaks in nature, these unicorn type players.
That could be.
He's fine. He can play a little bit. He'll get a chance, but I'm not a Bowl guy.
They leaning on him because look like that's what they backup centerpiece is essentially. So we gonna see. All right, man. Let's just move on, man. We're gonna finish this out real strong, man. Some season ending awards. So we're gonna go MVP, Rookie of the Year. No, the major awards: MVP, Rookie of the Year, 6-man, Most Improved, and who you got. We ain't gonna say, you can say if you want to win or not, but who you got going to the chip, just based off some early season predictions here from the guys. We're gonna start far with my left, and we're gonna move all the way down. Unless you want Sean to go.
Yeah, I'm a little too biased for this question, but I'm gonna answer it anyway. All right. So now I'm gonna try to be as realistic as possible.
Right.
I think I would love to say MVP. I would love to say Embiid go back to back.
Okay.
Simply because I know it's possible because of his talent. It's also possible because we've seen Joker do it. We've seen it happen. So it's not like it's an impossible feat. I do feel like with Nick Nurse's offense, how it's a little more free flowing. It's not necessarily catered to just dropping it down to him 50 times in a game.
Yeah,
I don't think it happens. I think you're probably going to see a slight point decline as well.
Agree.
100%.
So MVP, I would probably say it's very possible for it to be Giannis.
Okay.
With the addition of Dame, kind of allowing Giannis to flourish even more.
Absolutely. Everything's
and
not
have
on
a whole
him.
lot more space.
Basically, the Embiid effect, essentially. When you're the center of the attention, I'm loosening you up to just do what you do. So I would see the flip side to Embiid. I can actually see Giannis's some certain percentages in his game actually going up this year because he's not going to have all that attention on him. It's a little bit more easier buckets to get to and everything like that. But go ahead.
All right, so rookie of the year, man. It's probably going to be Victor, man. And the reason why, and it's not even like yes, he's talented, yes, but the reason why is because he's going to have the opportunity. He's going to have the numbers. He's going to have the minutes. He's just going to have the stats. It's just going to happen. That's the way it's going to be. I don't like to say it's scripted, but it is what it is. I mean, not many rookies are going to have. Now, there's some rookies that are going to have opportunity, but I mean, come on, Victor is the centerpiece. He's the
only one out there. Yeah,
you know, I mean, he's the only one that's a centerpiece. He's the only one that's is asked to be the man from day one. Even though they have Devin Vassell and those guys
Colin
over there.
Johnson.
So, rookie of the year is going to be Victor. 6-man.
That can go a lot of ways, especially this year.
Yeah,
it's a lot of cats coming off the bench. Who won it last year? You know, off top.
It wasn't. Was it? It was Malcolm Brogdon.
Malcolm
Brogdon. Yeah.
Right.
Man,
that was a little difficult.
That's difficult. That's difficult because
like,
you don't know. You don't even know because there's some guys who didn't start last year that's probably going to end up starting this year. So. I don't know who the guys on the bench are going to be, but if I have to pick one, I'm going to say Pat Bev.
I like it.
Pat Bev, six man of the year.
Hey, yo, Pat, we need you on the pod, man. You got to win this. You got to win this 6 man of the year, bro.
6 man of the year, Pat Bev. Yeah, honorable mention, I'll go Bobby Portis.
Okay. Come back, and then your NBA championship.
Okay, so comeback player of the year.
Yeah, a couple guys that.
Man, I know you're not gonna get it, but my comeback player of the year, it gotta be Ja.
Okay, that's actually good.
It gotta be Ja because he's been through a lot over the last course of these last 6-7 months.
Mm-hmm.
He got to come back head on straight. Like you seen the D Rose. I'm not here to babysit you. I'm here to push you.
Yeah.
So I see him. He already here. I see him getting his act together. So I got Ja as my comeback player.
Story. Yeah.
And championship game is going to be.
With Stephen A. say this is fluid, so it's not gonna be the same thing as the season start. But like I said, just off paper right now, how teams are built.
Yeah, injuries happen, trades happen, things happen. But I'm going to say Phoenix, Philly.
He went off that deep end with it. He said, yeah, the two teams that literally probably no one is going to pick to go to the championship. Go ahead on you, Sean. Same criteria.
All right, I'm keeping this neutral, even though I got 2 Sixers in here. But I do think I have this. I'll start off with MVP. I unfortunately think it's going to be Jason Tatum this year.
Okay.
I think this is the year that he gets his flowers. Unfortunately, he is that level of player, that he is that superstar caliber. It's frustrating because he is a Boston Celtic, but he is that dude. And I think that he kind of gets that recognition this year. He climbs in that upper echelon of talent, which he deserves to be. Defensive player of the year, I'm going to give...
you got defense. Okay. I like it.
I'm going to give Joel Embiid the nod here.
Okay. Going off with Nick Nurse was saying as far as what he wanted him to do?
I am. I think he accepts the challenge of let me be a little less involved offensively, let me dominate on the defensive side of things, and there's absolutely a world where if he locks in and does that, he can be a defensive player of the year.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping we see that.
So you add another trophy to his closet. I wouldn't mind that at all. Absolutely. Create that resume.
That's been a goal that he said since he came in the NBA too, that I want to be a defensive player of the year. So I would love to see it this year. Rookie of the year, Chet Holmgren.
I knew you was going Chet.
Yeah. The reason that I don't say Victor is I think that the Spurs are going to handle him with kid gloves this year. I think they're going to be very careful with any sort of sign of an injury. Let's keep him out for 2 weeks here. Let's make sure we're limiting the minutes here. I also think the Thunder are in much more of a win-now spot, that they're going to have a better record than the Spurs. I think Chet's going to be a guy involved from day one. I think he likely starts for them and has the minutes and opportunity as well. I'm not counting out Scoot Henderson either. I think that's a very fair argument there. But I do think that Victor just isn't going to play enough games or enough minutes that I think the Spurs are going to be ultra careful with him for the rookie year is my mindset there. Most improved, I'm going to give Tyrese Maxey the love here, that I think nationally he has not captured the attention he deserves yet. I think this is the year that he kind of climbs to front and center. I think the national media gets more love for him for how good he already is. And I think he's going to take another step in general. So I think he has a real shot at most improved this year. What am I missing?
No, that's in the championship. Who you got in the championship? Yeah,
I'll go, and it's a little bit of a chalk pick. Not fully. I'll go Milwaukee Bucks over the Golden State Warriors. That I'm buying in for the Warriors.
He put all his bread in. Take all that. Take all my money. All that stock. I need 100,000 shares of stocks of Golden State. No, I like that though. So we're gonna remember this. It's all on tape. So we got your championship Golden State and who you say? Milwaukee Bucks.
Giving Bucks the ring here.
Okay. Are they gonna win it? Yeah. Did you give a winner? Who you think gonna win? Yeah, Sixers winning.
There we go.
Sixers finally getting the chip this year.
Yeah, it's happening this year. It's happening. It gotta happen.
All right. MVP. I like the Jay Tatum. That was my first pick. But I'm gonna go with my runner-up. It's like they both tied essentially like that. Exactly. So I'm going same team. Milwaukee, but I'm gonna go the opposite way. I'm gonna go Dame.
Wow.
And this is why. This is and I know it's far fetched because it's Giannis's team. I understand it, but just as much as freedom as Giannis will get with Dame being there, is vice versa for Dame. Like this is probably going to be the most wide open, and I know this is like dark horse. He probably, and I more so believe he more so because I am with you. Jason probably gonna win it this year because it's just his due time essentially.
Yeah.
And with also your statement as far as Joel Embiid numbers slipping, probably not at the scoring and everything like that. So Jason is literally my pick as well. But this is like my between Giannis and Dame because just as much as freedom as Giannis is going to get, Dame is going because this is the first time Dame is not the guy. When you play Blazers. All you had to worry about was Dame. Mm-hmm. You ain't care about Nurkic if he played anyway. Let's start it there. CJ, I mean, he's a nice player, but he's not winning you no games. So for you have to worry about Giannis because he literally would dunk on you every play if you don't have. Because you got to build a wall. So you talking about us 3 people in the paint every possession to stop him from getting a buck, and you leaving Dame Lillard out there who could already shoot from the logo. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm more so. If he win it or not, I don't think he'll win it, but I'll put him in that conversation because, like, I feel like both of their games are going to be elevated this season, essentially. That's why I believe he's going to be in the conversation, I should say. But just to give an answer, I do believe Jason as well because he's just that next. You know the NBA, it's steps, and you could tell who's next to win something or do something like that, and it's just his time because after that. Who's after that? You know, you're not going to give it to Jokic again and beat it again. LeBron. Luka, yeah. But I don't think Luka's a star, but when it comes to you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then if you're saying Jason Tatum still do what he does and then you got the pieces that he got around him, they're going to be a very good team this year. So that's that. What else I say? I'm gonna come back to defense because you threw a little wrinkle in there. But comeback player, believe it or not, and he probably doesn't even qualify for it. But I would like to see Kyrie.
Okay,
he been through a lot of self-inflicted and other things as well on his plate. So him out there, him actually buying into the whole dollar situation out there with Luka. If he go out there and have a crazy season, I can see that happening with Kyrie as a comeback player essentially this year. Anybody else out there had no one out there? Yeah, no, I'm gonna leave it on because I'm about to go something crazy, but I ain't gonna because that's just all in the order now. So Kyrie's probably my top guy. Rookie, I'm actually going Scoot for rookie of the year. I didn't want to go with Wembanyama because that's easy. And if he does play a lot, like you said, they'll probably give it to him just because it's just how much stardom he came into it. I mean, the security guard slapped Britney Spears. So it's like, that's how big it is. That was news, everybody.
Yeah, right.
Not him slapping her. The bodyguard slapped her and didn't even slap her, but let's leave that there. So I do like Chet. You bringing him up. I forgot he does qualify that because he missed the whole season. Yeah. So I could see Scoot or Chet making the play for that. Championship. I see Boston. That hurt. hurt me, y'all.
Yeah.
Like
Don't say that to me.
That hurt me, y'all. But it's just like, just reading that lineup, bro.
It's tough.
I mean, other than, so I would say I would go Boston just to be different because I know you took Milwaukee. I'm going to go Boston. So I would say I would go Boston just to be different because I know you took Milwaukee. I'm going to go Boston. And Boston against, I got LA, man. And not the Clippers.
Okay.
I got Bron, last hurrah. This the year of Bron. He doing this for Bronny this year, you know. So I got nice additions out there and everything. What's the problem? What's the problem, Skip? What's wrong with Bron? Why you hate?
I need to change my my Western Conference team.
Who's that?
Because we're really forgetting, or we're just not acknowledging that Denver is still Denver.
Same
They
squad.
are.
And I don't think they really lost.
The only reason why, literally, and we gonna have a whole nother day about this. We ain't gonna take too much time on this because we already. The only reason why, because I look at last year, and I don't take anything away from them, and especially Jokic. But we talked about it earlier as far as like clicking at the right time. Think about it. During the season, they won some games, but they wasn't the juggernaut that you seen. They got the right pieces around them, bringing in Aaron Gordon. They lost Bruce Brown, who was a major contributor to. I mean, come on, we see how many threes he made and how many bets we lost because of Bruce Brown hitting 4 or 5 threes in the damn in the playoff game. So they lost someone significant and something like that. And I just feel like they just felt that groove and that click, and they just didn't stop. Essentially, like that, they just didn't stop. I'm not a big opponent of the hangover situation unless you let it affect you. If you literally just don't give a crap and not working about going into the next season, it will affect you. But I just feel like it was just one of those, I ain't going to say Cinderella moment because they still kick butt, but I do believe it was just one of those, they got hot at the end of the year and they just could not be stopped. They were just like, they found out what they needed to do, how they needed to do it, how they needed to play, and they played their way of basketball the whole way through the playoffs. Like, look at it. They played at their pace. They shot lights out. Again, and Bruce Brown is a very good player. He deserved the money that he got. But I think people forget how good he was shooting in that playoff series. I'm talking about 4, 5, 6, 3 in a row. I'm talking about threes here.
He was calling his own number the one game.
Yes,
he was saying, move out of the way.
He was an unexpected contributor. And that's why he was able to do what he did. Now, when teams get tape on you, it's a little different.
And he's not there anymore neither, though. So It's like, that's why I don't put it past. They're going to be in a run, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were to make their way back to the championship. I would not. I just look at last year just being an isolated moment where they just literally was just on a roll. And it's just nothing you could do because they damn near blew out everybody they played. So that let you know how much they were clicking. You could not stop them. They knew what plays they want to do. Jokic is on an all-time high, scoring, assisting, rebound. It was just, everything felt, let's go, Toronto year. Everything, theirs was a little different. It was more so injuries going into the playoffs as far as who they had to play. But it was just one of those seasons that everything just fell right to where it's like, all they had to do was just play basketball. That's all they had to do. You had the Lakers, they played them, they swept them, but it's like AD was going through whatever he going through as always. And you talk about a brand new team the Lakers just made within the last 3 months going into the playoff series, essentially like that. Golden State, even if they played them, it just would have been too much for them with size and everything like. So I just feel like this year, another year under the belt of all these Western teams is basically what I'm getting at. That all of them are having another.
So you got the Lakers.
Yeah.
Over Denver.
Yes. Even though they swept them last year, yes.
What's different?
With
besides
the Lakers?
Bruce Brown?
The Lakers.
What's different?
We just name it. Gabe Vincent. A true guard that they can use out there that's not hindered like Russell Westbrook going 10 for 40 essentially on the floor essentially. So you got him. You got AD coming back. Obviously got to stay healthy. I like Vanderbilt as a defensive person and a rebounder essentially like that. They Austin Reeves. They still got Toscado Anderson, whatever his name is but he's still a good player. He's for their system and what he does, scrappy, defends, can hit shots, big shot, and Brian not scared to give him the ball neither in those moments. Who else did they add? They added I'll pull them. I ain't got my phone. They added quite a few different players this year. That shows me that they got better. They got a better group or a better cast of role players around them than it was last year to add to their big guys. Essentially, is what I'm getting to, and adding those players to the team that gives them more shooting for one, because that was one thing they missed drastically. That was their biggest issue last year, was being able to shoot. They was tops in the league in defending. They was tops in the league in rebounding last year. Their biggest issue was being able to put the ball in the hole if your name wasn't LeBron James or
and Gabe Vincent is the catalyst to help.
I didn't say catalyst, but does it help? And then you still got D'Lo. D'Lo still out there running the point as well. So now you got two people that's on the out. Listen, they did all this. Hey man, listen. I
can't believe what I'm hearing.
Hey, listen.
So
listen.
What you're telling me
I'm going
is
year
that
21 with LeBron.
You're telling me that D'Angelo Russell,
yes,
Gabe Vincent,
yes,
year 21 LeBron James,
yes,
always injured AD,
yes,
and Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves
is going to beat Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm. Jamal Murray, obviously, I'm about to say Giannis. Jokic,
Michael Porter Jr.
Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr.
Come on, stop.
Bro, who's
Denver and 4.
What the
Stop it.
It ain't gonna be. But my thing is, and I'm gonna let you chime in real quick. But my thing is, Aaron Gordon, who he defending?
Probably Brian.
Again, who is he defending?
Nobody. Probably. Wait, you think Aaron Gordon can't defend Brian right now?
Oh, I meant to say Porter, Michael Porter. My bad.
Porter?
No, he
he might be switching on Brian now and then.
But Michael Porter,
guard
not
Austin
the greatest
Reeves.
defender, and I got he a shooter. So I'm not really worried about him. Jokic, and let's say you can either go Brian or AD, because AD had a good series against. People forget that too. AD averaged 30 against Jokic in that series. It's just they didn't have enough to go around with go back to when they played. AD was killing Jokic, but they couldn't shoot. They could not shoot. They had no one to shoot. Brian was shooting more threes. Austin Reeves had to shoot a lot more. But if you add in D'Lo, Vincent, and someone else that they picked up, is it Beasley? I think it's Malik. It's not Malik Beasley. No, I think they got Malik Beasley, yo. Because I think it's a meme or something like that. Because they talk about you on the same team as your yep. So that is Malik. So that's another shooter that they have out there. So they don't got to play.
Telling me that's championship caliber. That's what you're telling me.
When you have LeBron James, yes. Bro, they was in the Western Conference Finals last year. And the team was created 3 months before the playoffs started. Go ahead.
I respect your opinion.
Hop in, Sean, because we can get on out of here. I just want to hear your team.
Denver scares me.
I don't discredit them, but that's my pick for the championship. You picked Phoenix originally.
I changed it.
Who you pick?
I was a prisoner of the moment.
I Golden State.
Golden State, but you poo-pooing on the Lakers?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. The Lakers got a better chance than Golden State. I believe that. Yes.
I don't know. I think they're...
Yes, I'm starting arguments, everybody, with both of them. I'm starting arguments with both of them.
Golden State probably won't be able to defend AD.
Looney's a decent option for AD.
And don't get me wrong, AD ain't Embiid, and people know that. I'll take Embiid over AD every day.
Yeah.
Every day, every moment, every second, every hour. But we only can go by what we've seen. Creating a team 3 months before the at the trade deadline, a couple months before the playoffs to start, to be able to go through your guys, the Kings and Golden State. They be Golden State to get there. Go to Golden State to get to the Western Conference Finals after just creating a team with the team that they had of Russell Westbrook. Did he leave yet already?
Yeah, he was.
He was already going by then. But either way, you had, I don't even know who the point guard was. Now I'm even thinking about it. Oh, D'Lo was there. Who was after him? Who was behind him? I think that's where it dropped off. But he barely played. Remember, that was the big argument because they were taking him out of games because he couldn't defend late in games. They was playing Austin Reeves or some O'Brien at that point. But either way, we getting all subject. But you add in going by last year, them just creating a team, going to the playoffs, making the Western Conference Finals, them having good games within the conference finals. They only lost the second half because they just didn't have enough firepower. I feel like adding those added pieces of people being able to shoot now on top of having the same guys that made them be tops in the league and defending and rebounding already. I just feel like that's a good recipe. I think people underestimate what Rob Pelinka did this offseason. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. But I do believe the additions that were added made a good thing for the team. Go ahead, Sean. I know I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I do think the Nuggets are a well-oiled machine and still very young.
Until they're dethroned, yes, I agree. They're still the champs. Yep.
Yeah, I'll give them, I guess, that red carpet there. That as long as Jokic and the way he plays, he's not getting hurt. Jamal Murray's still like 26. They're young. They're still building. They got all their pieces. Bruce Brown you can replace. And they got Christian Braun right there who probably will replace them. It's tough to not.
So you're talking about coming at people who's been established that's done it, right? But you giving the benefit to Christian Braun, who had moments in the season. I've seen him make some shots that fit well. Got some
Jamal Murray. I'm
that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, y'all just killed me for Gabe Vincent, D'Angelo Russell, and people who played with Braun last year who experienced it, to a guy who played some. You know, made some plays here because I've seen it. But other than Jokic and even Jamal, because I think they're going to build on that. My thing is, are you going to get the same output from the rest of those guys? Because even, what'd you think of Aaron Gordon before getting there? Seeing what he did.
Well, I think it was a perfect place for him. When he was in Orlando, he was trying to be the guy a little bit, trying to create his own shot. When he's now in Denver, that he catches lobs, he's a screener, he's a defender, he gets the ball off cuts. Yeah, that's all he has to do.
Absolutely.
He's in a great role for him. I think there's guys like that are able to reinvent themselves. I think Andrew Wiggins is another awesome example of when he got to Golden State.
That's all I'm getting at, folks.
Just do those things. Just be that guy. So I feel good about Aaron Gordon. I think he's in a perfect spot for him, and I think he likes being in that role too, which is a big deal for them. I
mean, and I know you poo-poo Bruce Brown, but he's been like that even since he was in Brooklyn. You can't you can't. I ain't gonna say you can, because you gotta have the will and the want to do some of the things that he done. How gritty, how like a Pat Bev type of guy who's willing to sit there, die on the floor, get rebounds. How many rebounds he averaging? 5 rebounds in the playoffs last year? He took him for over 5 rebounds every game because that's the type of stuff. So just saying Christian Braun is going to come in and do that. It's not saying they're not going to be good. I understand.
Don't sleep on Christian Braun.
I'm not. But I'm going to go with my guy. I'm going to go with the Lakers. I'm like Big Perk right now. You know what I'm saying? We're going with the Lakers this year to make a run. They made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. It's going to be Western Conference Finals again with the Lakers and the Nuggets. They're going to get their lick back, and they're going to the chip, and they're going to lose to the Sixers, if not the Celtics. All right, man. Anything else y'all got to say? Any plugs, anything going on? Shout out your pod, everything that you got going on is coming up and everything. Let the people know.
Yeah, appreciate you for having me on, AB. Yes, it was good chopping up. You can see me a little bit everywhere. Fox 102.5 The Gambler pretty regularly. There's Saturdays 11 to 1 and throughout the week peppered in. Also check out Sixers Digest on YouTube. Doing some awesome stuff over there. And then Pick Swap Media as well. That's still throwing things out, throwing stuff on there. So a little bit of everywhere these days.
Hey man, let them know where they can go get your picks at every week. My man, I'm letting y'all know. I ain't gonna throw no numbers out there, but I'm gonna let y'all know this was a great weekend for this man when it came to these bets. That's all I'm gonna say. But go ahead.
So I'm mainly on IG. You can catch me on IG at HeardThatSkip, HeardThatSkip. You can follow it. You can check the story out during Sixers games, Eagles games, the Footies games, and you will see a parlay, and you will make some money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because guess what? I want a little piece of change, too, over the years, too, working off this guy, for sure, though. So make sure y'all check everything that they got going on. It'll be on the screen as well. You know, their at names, everything that they have going on and everything like that, man. But this is, I'm glad y'all stepped in the room with me today, man. This is the Open Gym episode 3, the NBA off-season edition, training camp edition, new season edition, whatever the heck you want to call it, man. We just wanted to come here and have a talk with you guys and just have a good time, man, talking about all this stuff, man. Again, like you already know, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, hit the notification button. Make sure you stay locked in with everything that's going on here at Open Gym Network. Got a lot of things that's coming out real soon, merch, events around cities, everything like that that's going on. So make sure y'all tap in. And make sure y'all here each and every week for a new episode, man. It's your boy AB with Skip and with my man Sean. And we are out of here. Yes, sir.